Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning everyone. Saya hope each of everyone are clearly hear my voice because I am not in Unimas. I'm outside from Unimas, so I really hope that my internet connectivity was okay. Welcome to CAM 2024, organized by Academic Training Unit. Thank you to Dr. Nuzal for your willingness to become our speaker for today. So to all participants, thank you very much for joining our workshop entitled Empowering Changemakers, a workshop on SDG-driven project design. For your information, our workshop will start at 10 a.m. until 12 p.m. And before that, please scan your QR attendance. For those who are not yet scan your QR attendance, just wait until the end of the workshop, and then Dr. Azra will show you the QR attendance again. So I would like to introduce our honorable speaker for today's session. Dr. Nurza Efiana Ghazali is an accomplished academic with a diverse educational background. She received her bachelor degree from University Technology Malaysia in 2007 and pursued dual master degrees from Shibura Institute of Technology, Japan, and University Technology Malaysia in 2010 and 2011, respectively. In 2016, she obtained her PhD from UTM. So currently serving as the director at UTM Center for Engineering Education and a senior lecturer in the Faculty of Electrical Engineering at UTM. Dr. Nuzal Efiana Ghazali holds pivotal roles in the field of engineering education. She also served as the Vice President for the Society of Engineering Education Malaysia and contributes significantly to the Sakura Science Club Malaysia Chapter Committee. Her research interests span various domains, including engineering education, Internet of Things IoT, mobility management, sport monitoring system, and vehicular communication. Dr. Nuzal has demonstrated exceptional proficiency in securing grants at both university and international levels, including the Transdisciplinary Research Grant, Fundamental Research Grant, FRGS Teraju and Asian IVO Grant. So without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Nuzal Efiana to start her sharing. However, for the participant, if you have any query, you can unmute your microphone or you can state your question in the chat room. So without further ado, I would like to pass this slot to Dr. Nuzal to start your sharing. Over to you, Doctor.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Mazlina. Assalamualaikum and good morning, everyone. Okay. All right. Okay, for those who didn't join this class point, please join this class point. Maybe I can paste it again in the chat area. I think I need to stop for a sentence. Okay, please join the class point because this session will be active. Okay, I will have interaction with the participants. Okay. Okay. All right. Today I will share with you about workshop on SDG-driven project design. So as briefed by Dr. Mazlina, I am currently a director at UTM Center for Engineering Education, and my background is electrical engineering. So this is presentation outline. I prepare my presentation in 5 parts. Okay, the first one I will share with you about my journey and a little bit about me. Okay, my journey where I can say that it's a transition from engineering, electrical engineering to the engineering education. Okay, and then I'm going to talk about sustainable development goals, SDG. Then how we can empower the change maker. And then I will share with you how we can design a project based on SDG. And then it's a project example where I can say that all the project that I will share is project from my activities. Okay, and I think I want to make a claim that I'm not an expert. I just to share with you that what I've done with my students. So I'm a practitioner and I can say researcher in this area. Okay, so this is my partner from education. Background is education, so I learned a lot from her regarding the learning theories so that I can improve in terms of my design in the class design and project design. So I don't think that I need to go on with this slide because it's already mentioned by Dr. Mazlina previously. Okay, so I started in engineering education from 2015. Okay, started with the SOTA Scholarship in Teaching and Learning. So I took the part 1 in 2015. So I continue part 2 in 2016. But I'm not really practice the knowledge because I can say that I get the knowledge, but I do not know how to transform the knowledge, right? How to practice the knowledge. But then when I joined the World Engineering Education Forum, okay, I started to meet people from engineering background. Okay, so from that, I started to learn about engineering education and I published 2 papers. Okay, and then in 2019, I can say that in 2017, my papers related to the engineering education is quite, is not a very good quality, all right, because I don't have the principal knowledge on the education, right? So in 2018, I can say that I stopped and then I learned about that, okay? And then I started do it in my classroom and then it contribute to the bigger project. So in 2020, my first publication in project base, okay, this one is a course. Okay, the project is designed in course. Okay, so implementation of project-based learning in system modeling and analysis course. And then in 2021, one paper on the engineering students' learning experience through a unique global project-based learning. So this one is not in the course, but it is extra curriculum project. Okay, and then in 2022, extension of this paper, exploring metacognitive skills among engineering students through global project-based learning. So I will share later about this in the project example. Okay, and then this year, crafting a real-world problem, project-based learning based on gantry crane system. So I'm doing this based on my practice, and then I publish to share my knowledge. So this is my journey in engineering education, and I started publish related to the project base in 2020 until now. Okay, so it's a little bit about me in related to the project base. Okay, so let's take a look sustainable development goals. Okay, so I think most of us here familiar with these 17 SDGs, all right? Okay, so before I continue with this sharing session, okay, I would like to get your idea. Okay, what is the first word that comes to mind when you think of sustainability? Okay. So can you please join the class point and then provide the answer? Okay, I will keep silent for about 2 minutes so that you can think and share your answer. Okay. Okay, can you see the answer? It's in the word cloud. Okay, I can say that long lasting. Okay, we have more people comment on the long lasting. So we can see these are the things that our audience today think about sustainability. Okay, So I will bring to you the pillar of the sustainability. What is mean by the sustainability? Okay, today I will bring two concepts. Okay, the first concept is these three pillars of sustainability, where involve the social, economic, and environmental. Okay, and the overlapping between social economic is the economic social, right? Sorry. Okay. All right, so this is the three pillars of sustainability: social, economic, and environmental. So the overlapping of these three pillars is called sustainability. All right, so sustainability pillars consist of this social, where I can say that social, for example, social is education. So education is inside this circle. And then when we talk about economy, all right, we can talk about the cost saving, profit, economic growth, and something. And when we talk about the environmental, we can say about the pollution prevention, conservation. Okay, so that one is a part of social, economic, and environmental. When we have overlapping between social and economic, we need to think about economic, social. For example, business ethic, all right, workers' right. So that will be in this overlapping area. When we talk about social environmental, we need to think about natural resources stewardship locally and globally. And environmental economy is something that energy efficiency, something like that. So when we have the overlapping between economic, social, environment, we call it as sustainability. Okay. But this concept, all right, you can see that this concept separate. We have a separate social, economic, and environmental. Okay. I will bring to you another concept that I can say is more interesting. And then I use this concept in my current design, where I call it as SDGs wedding cake. All right. So this SDGs wedding cake consists of three elements. All right. The first one is environment. The second one is society. And the third one is economy. So the first layer, the environment, is the foundation. All right, is the foundation where it supports the society and economy. All right, and then the environment, when we map it to the 17 SDGs, we can see that these four: clean water and sanitation, climate action, life below water, life on land, is under this environment. Okay, certain reference, they call it biosphere. Okay, we need to have this fundamental before this fundamental can support the society. Okay, where the society consists of no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, affordable and clean energy, sustainable cities and communities, peace, justice, and strong institution. So this is the under society. Okay, and these two cake, all right, will support the economy. All right, and then decent work, economic growth, industry, innovation, reduce inequalities, responsible consumption and production. So to make these things, I can say the relationship between these things is you need to have a better environment before you can support the society. And when you collaborate together, locally or globally, you are creating a new economy. So these are the SDGs wedding cake. So this is another concept that I can say this is my current reference. And this concept is quite different to the previous concept that I shared before. Okay, because we can see that all these things is interrelated and not part of, okay, compared to the previous concept. Okay, so this connection, the interrelationship, this one is called sustainability. so that when we want to achieve the sustainability, we cannot miss anything. All right, we need to consider all these things to achieve that goals, the SDG goals in 2030. All right, so this is a concept that you can refer to later on. To achieve this goal, all right, to achieve the SDGs goal, UNESCO mentioned that quality education is a fundamental to make a change to the society, to the at the locally and globally to achieve these SDGs. Okay, so this one I took from UNESCO document, okay, where it mentioned about the ESD, Education for Sustainable Development. Okay. The 17 SDGs is a concept of the relationship between the SDGs. Okay, so now when we want to bring this sustainability into education, all right, we need to have fundamental knowledge, okay, how we can integrate this sustainability into the education. Okay, so UNESCO mentioned that fundamental to that we need to integrate the sustainability into the education is we need to reform the curriculum and we need to change the way we think. Okay, and then education has a responsibility to be in gear with 21st century challenges and aspiration and foster the right types of values and skill. So we are not more focusing on the cognitive only. We are talking about values, skill. In other words, it's about competency. Okay, so UNESCO coined this term ESD, Education for Sustainable Development, in 1990s, and the term evolved from time to time, from EE, ESD, EFS, SE. Okay, so when we talk about sustainability, I can say that previously most of people will relate the sustainability with environment. All right, so previous term is environmental education. Okay, where environmental education more attention on the quality of nature. Okay, when UNESCO coined a new term ESD, Education for Sustainable Development, it want to incorporate those 17 SDG into the curriculum. Okay, and then there is a debate about ESD, the term of the development, the sustainable development, and in research, they make it more broad. Okay, not only in the curriculum, it can be in the community. Then a new term, we call it as education for sustainability. Okay, while a new term SE, sustainable education, is beyond that. Okay, when sustainable education is about foster the culture in our society towards sustainability, right? So we can see that it's at the smaller in the school, locally to the community, and then we want to make a change or behavior change in the community. So this is the term that most commonly used in research related to the education and sustainable development. Okay, so now we know that we have several terms, ESD, EFS, SE. Okay, so we want to know the approach that we can use in our education system. Okay, the first one is education about sustainability. Education about sustainability is, I can say, focus on the content, information, and knowledge, where this is common that we do in our class, in our curriculum, because it's easy to integrate into curriculum and the existing paradigm. But education about sustainability may not change values and behaviors of the learners. All right, for example, the students, our students, when they answer the final exam, the test, they can answer that, but it doesn't mean that they will change their behavior towards the sustainable. Okay, so education about sustainability may not change values and behavior. Okay, the second one is education for sustainability, where this one it focuses on the adaptive response, where we are looking learning for change. Learning for change include values, include knowledge and skills. So we need to reform curricula, but still within the existing paradigm. Okay, and education for sustainability, I can say, is a bridge between the what have been taught in the class, what have been taught in school, institution, and the practice in the society. Because values contradiction may occur between thought and practice value. Okay, for example, if we take an example of our kids in school. Okay, so teachers in school teach, okay, jangan buang sampah merata-rata. But then in the society, in the car, kadang nampak sampah orang buang merata-rata. So this is education for sustainability. We need to bridge the things that we teach in the class and the practice in the community. So the last one is education as sustainability. Okay, where this one is transformative response, learning as change. We want people to make a change. So we emphasize on the process, the quality of learning, and the whole person, the whole school community, where I can say is the highest level of learning. Okay, where we want to have a creative, participative, dynamic, integrated, holistic, relational, and collaborative in learning. So these are approach that can be used in our education system to teach sustainability. All right. So now, how can we empower the change maker toward this SDG? So again, I want feedback from the audience. What is the first word that comes to mind when you think of SDG change maker? Okay, I give around 2 minutes for you to think and to answer. Okay, so collaboration support, okay, is the highest point. Okay. All right. So I think you are on track. All right. Thank you for the response. Okay, stars for all. All right. So basically the change maker is us. All right. We are the one that can play a role to make our society change. Okay. So based on UNESCO document, okay, ESD aims at developing competency that empower individuals. So what are the competency that we are looking for? The first one is people who can reflect on their own action, and then taking into account their current and future social, cultural, economic, and environmental impacts, and then able to act in complex situation in a sustainable manner for local and international perspective. So these are competency that we are looking for in ESG. Okay, so in education for sustainability, whatever term that we use, these are competency that we are looking for. So how can we develop this competency among our students? By having the holistic integrative education, where when we talk about education for sustainability, we should talk about learning. It's not about teaching anymore. It's about learning. So education is about the development of the whole person itself, where it involves cognitive. It's relate to the intellect. So knowledge and awareness. And then it involves affective, emotion, the attitudes of that person, the values of that person, behavioral or physical skills, actions and behaviors of that person. And then when we combine all these, then it comes to the spiritual inspiration, commitment to transform and to bring about change. So these are education, right? And then when we take a look at the pillars of education, one, when we talk about knowledge, is about learning to know. Head, okay, relate to the head of the person, of our students. Okay, and I can say that current curriculum, we focus more on this knowledge, on the connective, learning to know. But we need to consider learning to be, where it involves the heart of the person, the awareness, the understanding of the person. And then we need to think about learning to do, the ability of the students, the person, of the skills, the action. And then learning to live together sustainably, which is the attitude of the person. So when we talk about the change maker, we as educators, we need to think about the holistic integrative education, and we need to consider all of these elements into our curriculum. So let's take a look at the key competency for the sustainability. Okay, this my reference is the Education for Sustainable Development Goals, Learning Objective, UNESCO. So you can read that document and you can get the detail of this competency. So the first one is the system thinking competency, where its ability to recognize and understand relationship, to analyze the complex system. The sustainability itself is complex, all right? When we involve with the culture, we involve with the community, it can get more complex. So how the person or our students can have this ability, system thinking, competency. And then the second one is anticipatory competency. This is the ability to understand and evaluate multiple futures, possibility, the probability, and desirable to create our own, to create one's vision for the future. Okay, so this is another competency. And then the normative competency, the ability to understand and reflect on the norms and values that underlie one's action. All right. And then another competency is the strategic competency, the abilities to collective develop and implement innovative actions that further sustainability at the local level and further afield. And then another competency that we are looking for is critical thinking competency, the ability to question norms, practices, and opinions, and the students can reflect on their own value, perception, and action. Okay, another competency is self-awareness competency, the ability to reflect on one's own role in the local community and global community. Okay, collaboration competency, the abilities to learn from others, to understand and respect others' needs, and to learn about others' perspective as well. We can consider as collaboration competency. And the integration of this competency is come to the integrated problem-solving competency. Okay, ability to apply different problem-solving framework, okay, to complex sustainability problems. So when we design something for our curriculum, we need to consider of this competency. All right, so because these are the competency that we are looking for sustainability in education. Okay, so next we go to the transformative pedagogy. When we talk about competency, we need to I can say things not only the test Okay, not only the final, all right, because we cannot assess the competency based on the connective. When we talk about the competency, it involves all. It involves the knowledge, attitudes, behavior, and everything. So pedagogy should be transformed if we want to have a better impact of sustainability in our education. So these are the transformative pedagogy that can be practiced. And today, I will focus on the project-based learning. Okay. So what is actually project-based learning? I take two definitions where I can say this Kilpatrick is considered the founder of project-based learning. Okay, so Kilpatrick says that any unit of experience dominated by such a purpose as set and aim for experience guides its process and furnishes the drive for its vigorous prosecution is considered as project. And in 1991, Blumenfeld, right, make an improvement for this definition, where it focus on when we do a project, we need to consider what to work on, how to work, and what products to generate. All right. So this is about project-based learning. So when we know what is project-based learning and we know how we can embed into our class and we know about the pedagogy, then now we can design the project for the sustainability. Okay. So I started with the constructive alignment, CA. Okay, we use OBE in our curriculum. CA is one application of OBE. Okay, sama tapi serupa tapi tak sama kan, dia punya CA and OBE. Okay, it's a little bit different between CA and OBE. Okay, so CA is alignment between your intended learning outcome, your teaching and learning activities, and your assessment tasks. All right, so here I give you example of the intended learning outcome when I design a project to my students. Okay, so this is the outcome where at the end of the project, okay, I want my students to implement action at local to promote sustainable agriculture. So this is my ILO. Okay, and then I can use either sustainable pillar concept or SDGs wedding cake. Okay. And then for the assessment, I use Gibbs reflective cycle. Okay. In considering these three, ILO, teaching and learning activities, assessment tasks, I equip myself with the how people learn framework. Okay, so how people learn is a framework that gives a clue, knowledge to us how one's learn. Okay, as I mentioned that when we talk about ESD, it's not about teaching, it's about learning. So when we want people to learn, then we need to know how people learn. Okay, so how people learn framework consists of 4 lenses. The first lens is about the learner-centered, where we as educator, we need to understand of our students' knowledge, skills level, and interest that learners bring into the classroom. Basically, it's about our students' prior knowledge. We need to understand their prior knowledge. And then about the knowledge-centered, we as educator, we need to support learning with understanding than simply memorizing. It means that we need to make our student understand instead of memorizing. Thus, it should be a depth of study and incorporate the teachings of meta-cognitive strategy. So, in other words, that when the students learn, then they can reflect themselves. Assessment-centered. Okay, assessment can be summative, can be formative. But if we are looking for the project base, I can say alternative assessment is better. Okay. And then the community-centered, we as educator must be enable class community build a sense of comfort with questioning rather than knowing the answer. So we need to make the community in the class where the student feels safe. So when the students feel safe, then later on, they can contribute better in the design, because now we are talking about project-based, right? So they can ask without feel afraid whatever, so they can freely ask, they can freely share their design later on. So we need to understand, okay, one person will learn based on this, okay? So based on this, I design the teaching and learning activity related to the project base. Okay. So now we know, we already know the outcome of the students. We know how we are going to design the teaching and learning activities. Now, how about the assessment? I'm using the Gibbs reflective cycles. Normally, after the project, I will collect the reflective journal. Okay, so the students will write their journal during the project. So in the Gibbs reflective cycles, it starts with the description, what happened. Student will write on what is actually happened during the project and something, then about their feeling. So the guided question is, what were you thinking and feeling? Then evaluation, the students need to evaluate something. And the guided question, what was good and bad about the experience? Okay, and then the students are able to make analysis. The guided question is, what else can you make of the situation? Then they come to the conclusion. The guided question, what else could you have done? An action plan. If that matter happen again, what will be your action? Okay, so this is Gibbs recycle, the reflective cycle. So normally I will ask my students to write in the journal. So from that journal, then later on I will analyze their journal to capture what the experience, what is the experience that they gained during the project. Okay. Now we'll focus on the project beyond classroom, beyond class. Okay. It will involve service learning. Okay. So designing project based related to the service learning, where you involve the community locally or internationally, you need to design it properly. Okay. So I will give you step by step that I've done before. The first one is, of course, you need to find your partner. Find either locally or globally. Okay. After you find your partner, you need to identify the community. In my case, I have, I can say that the projects are not in Malaysia. So it's an international project. So when I find my partner, okay, for example, in Indonesia, okay, my partner will find the community. Okay, so identify local needs with your partner. So my partner will identify the local needs, then we have a discussion, normally online discussion. So engagement, engage with community to understand their needs. Okay, sometimes we went to the community before we decide on the activity, but sometimes only our partner went to the community to make the engagement with the community. All right, we need to understand the community first and understand their need first. It's not about we are the one who decide the project that we want to bring to the community. Okay, so we need to go to the community first, observe. All right, from that observation, then we can suggest the suitable project for that. That's why we need to have engagement with the community first. And then planning with your partners by considering community needs and our students' need. And not to forget culture. All right, culture difference is a complex things in designing project for the service learning. Okay, implementation. Students implement the project, educators as facilitator. Okay, learning by doing. Students will learn a lot when they do the things. If they make mistake, then it is okay. Just let them know that it's your learning process. Okay, and then presentation. Present the project to the stakeholder. Reflection, I will collect reflection from students. What type of reflection? It based on the Gibbs reflective model that I've shared before. All right. And then the feedback. Educator give feedback to the students and collect feedback from stakeholders. Okay, normally we will have chit chat, okay, with the students at the end of the project. Okay, share how they can improve. Okay, and then I will I always tell my students that if you don't change, it means that learning doesn't happen. Okay. When you change, it means that you learn something. Okay. So those are the things that we want our student aware after the project. So feedback from us to the students is very important. Okay. To make a sustainable project, follow-up should happen. And this follow-up is actually, I can say, it's a things relate to the planning as well. Okay, things that relate to the planning as well. Certain project is only one cycle. After that project, then there is no project or no continuity project with that community. Okay, so previously I did that kind of project with the community where I call it as a touch and go project. Okay, it's only one cycle. You go to the community, you do project, then after that you finish, and there is no other continuity with that project, with that community. But recently, I'm looking for the project who can sustain in that community, right? Okay, it's a sustainability project. Okay, it's not only, okay, we bring agriculture to the system, to the community. After that, nothing, right? Okay, so I will explain to you later our project, how we plan and execute for the sustainability, for sustainable project. Okay. To design one project, all right, there is a principle behind that. Okay, I refer to this principle, okay, by Baron in 1998, offered 4 design principles to support project-based learning. The first one, defining learning appropriate goals. Okay, and then the second one, incorporating scaffolding strategy to support learning. Providing opportunities for formative self-assessment and revision. Promoting a participative classroom culture and a sense of learner agency. So this design principle can be used for a project in the course, or the project is outside the course. Okay, so you can use this one. And the learning theories for the project-based learning is a constructivism. Okay, when we talk about the scaffolding, okay, there is a theory, a principle, we call it as a zone proximal development, ZPD, by Vygotsky. Okay, the ZPD is the distance between the actual developmental level as determined by independent problem solving and the level of potential development as determined through problem solving under guidance or in collaboration. So please remember, when you want to give a project to your student, the problem should be in this area. If the project is too simple, then the students can do it independently, and team cannot, a collaborative learning won't happen. Okay, and then if you give a project or the problem which is too hard, student will get demotivated because they can't do even with help. So you need to identify the zone of proximal development, okay, where the problem that we give to the student should be in this level, and we need to scaffold our students. If you're doing project in your course, it's not giving the project at the beginning of the semester or at the middle of the semester, and then you collect at the end of the semester. No, it's not like that. You need to scaffold the students, all right? So these are the things that we need to understand how to do a project nicely so that the students won't get demotivated. Okay. Now, based on this principle, this learning theories knowledge, I designed my project. Okay. I started first project without knowing this kind of principle. Okay, so I will share with you a project that I did a project because I love to do a project, because I feel that I need to do something with my students. Okay, because it depends. It based my experience where I teach at electrical engineering faculty. Okay, and the student stay at the college. Okay, where in the college they stay with STEM background. It means that in that college, majority of the students in that college is come from electrical engineering faculty. So they don't have chance to mix with other. Okay, so this project that I will share with you is extra curriculum project under my club. Okay, I create club where my intention is to make the student mix. All right, I want engineering students communicate with people who not comes from engineering background. All right, I want them to talk to person from management faculty, all right, from the educational faculty, all right, from the science computer faculty, and from other engineering faculty as well. Okay, so I designed a project started in 2019. Okay, this one I received a grant, Sakura Science Plan. Okay, I brought around 10 students. Okay, and the background of the students was electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, and industrial design students. So they comes from different discipline. Okay, and I divided the objective of this project is to introduce problem-based learning and to develop communication skills, because this project is a collaboration with Japan. Okay, verbal and written. I want my students to learn other culture, and at the same time, they learn the communication skills. Okay, and I want they to develop a module before they went to the Japan. Okay, so it's about a written communication. They need to develop IoT module where they learn how to organize their knowledge. So if we refer to the learning, so this one is the basic one of learning, where is, I can say, is more on the connective, touch a little bit on the skills and value of the students. Okay, so during the program, our students from Malaysia, they act as a facilitator. Okay, the problem given was related to the environment. Okay, it's about landslide. Okay, because the place that we went there is Kagoshima. Kagoshima has a lot of landslide issue. So we bring that issue into the problem base. Okay, so the students, the Japanese students, okay, learn about the problem, how to identify the problem, okay, how to come to what we call it, to suggest or to propose solution, all right, and then they need to learn how to communicate with others using English. Okay, so then they will present something like this. Okay, so this is my first project in 2019. I started this project without knowing about the learning theories. I just did this based on my intention to expose my student with different culture and transform their knowledge, basically to transform their knowledge. Okay, after that, I did a project in Aceh. Okay, this one, we brought fertigation system and fiberglass. Okay, during this project, our students teach local community to do to develop the fertigation system and to use fiberglass to develop if I'm not mistaken, this one something like a small boat. Okay, and this one is the Prof. Saman. He's the expert in the fiberglass. So he just monitor. So our students learn to develop that before we went to Aceh. Okay. And then it involved electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, and surveyor. So different background of students. Okay, where I can say if it is in the course per course, we cannot have this kind of different discipline. Okay, for example, capstone or final year project, we cannot have this kind of different discipline unless we transform the curriculum. Okay. Okay, so this is another project. Okay, what we learn is not only me, but my students who joined this one. What we learned was that local student, not all local students can accept technology. Okay, because they think if the technology comes into their community, they will lose their job. Okay, so these are complexity happen during the project relate to the community. So another project was in Japan again in 2019. Okay, it's a conceptual where we combine Japanese and Malaysian students in one group. Okay, again, develop an IoT system related to SDG, involve electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, computer science, and industrial design. Where we need to consider when we talk about design, when we talk about something, a product, industrial design person can make the product better compared to the engineering students. So that's why I integrate or I combine students, industrial design students with the engineering student. So at least our students in that group, our students can learn another perspective from different background. Okay, and so they will present this about 5 days project, and they presented the project in, on the last day. Okay. All right. So I collected this one. I did analysis and I published 2 papers related to this project. Okay. I will share with you finding where is I want to explore the meta-cognitive for the students. Okay. So the themes that comes out from students' reflection journal, okay, is about the project understanding, identify problem, technology, and communication. Okay, so identify problem, as you can see here, example of quotation in the journal. First, we propose to make a smart speed detector for cars. The patterns of driving might be useful for the insurance company in Malaysia. Unfortunately, in Japan, they already have a black box or dash camera to prove the driver's innocent. So this is the complexity happen when it involves different background, involve different culture. To get, they can identify many problems, but to decide one problem is a complex for the students. Okay, so these are things that we learn. Okay, my students learn as well as I. Okay, we learn together during that project. Okay, and then teamwork, project planning, and then time management. As we can see that one team's planning. Okay, how they can decide to divide the works, and another one related to the project planning is monitoring. Okay, on the second day, we started to do a checklist goals for things we want to do throughout the day. Okay, so I could manage my time properly so that I could maximize the working time. So these are the things that I can identify when they join the project. So it gives a positive impact. Okay, and then they learn about the project modification. Since we finished our coding, Wataru wanted to add up some sound by using a buzzer to produce some noise when the reading triggered to make it more attractive. So they can, I can say that they can reflect, they can modify the project, okay, and then they can analyze, they can make a decision, and then they involve the problem solving as well. So for example, the quotation for the problem solving. It was all because of simple mistake. We identify each axis of the sensor wrongly assigned where the x-axis is the y-axis. So see how they can identify the problem and then how can they solve the problem. Okay, and then transfer. Okay, how can the student transfer their knowledge? Okay, so these are the things that the students learn, and I can say is a very positive impact to them. Okay, so another project was in 2019. Okay, again, this one with Unsri, Universitas Sriwijaya, Palembang. Okay, this one, my collaborator background is agriculture. Okay, at this moment, at that particular time, I was thinking, how can I make awareness to my students that the IoT projects that they have done either in capstone or FYP is actually didn't meet the application in the community or in other application, because normally they just assign the threshold values and everything. Okay, so when we involve this kind of thing into this service learning, then they need to know the actual threshold for the pH, actual threshold for the DO, dissolved oxygen. Okay, if they want to have a water quality monitoring system for this different type of element. All right, so what we did is, okay, they developed a component system, okay, and it becomes the fertilizer to the fertigation system. So this one, okay, they develop things from scratch with the agriculture students, with the economic students. Okay, okay. This is the first project that I can say is a sustainable project, because after we went back to Malaysia, our partner or our collaborator in Unsri, students come from economic background. They are monitoring the progress of the villages here when they sell the fish, they sell the vegetables. So what happened to their income? And then the economic students make a report on that. And then for the agriculture students, they came to this area for their FYP project. So this is a sustainable project, I can say, because we have a continuity program after that. Okay, so I think this is a big impact to the students and the community. Then I stopped traveling due to COVID. And I started again in 2023, again with Palembang, okay, same collaborator. Okay, we developed mushroom house. Is the first mushroom house with the IoT system in the South Sumatra. Okay, involve mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, electronic engineering students, civil engineering, agriculture engineering, and agriculture students and economy students. Okay, the concept is same what we had done in 2019. Okay, the agriculture students, okay, teach women, okay, in the village to create the mushroom block. Okay, we did it in August. And last November or last December, my collaborators sent, there is another cycle. Okay, so the project, I can say is a continuity project. So this is not a touch and go project as well. And then this mushroom house was developed by the civil engineering students from scratch. Okay, so they use their own skills, okay, to develop this mushroom house. And then the mechatronic students and the electrical students, they are working hard for the IoT system. It's a very simple. They just use one sensor, the HT22, just to measure the humidity and the temperature. And then there's a water sparkling here, water sprinkler here. Okay, so I can say it's a very basic IoT system, but it gives impact to the community. Okay, so this is another project. And then this is, I published one paper for this project. Okay, the project involved two phases. The first phase where students from Indonesia came to UTM in January, and then we went there in August. Okay, and then students need to transfer their knowledge to the community. Okay, so how I assess this program compared to the previous program, I use the reflective journal. Here I use questionnaire. Okay, the questionnaire is developed by Miller in 2018. Okay, they are consists of two construct here. Okay, the personal development construct and the social responsibility construct. Okay, and then the measurement. So these are the measurement for the personal development construct, and these are the measurement for the social responsibility construct. Okay, so I can see. Okay. 66.7% is the male students and 33.3% female students. Okay, and then I gave the questionnaire to the UNSRI students as well as UTM students. Okay, so this is the finding, the course background. Okay, so for the personal development, I can say that we have the high mean greater than 4. So in other words, is developed. Okay, it's a positive feedback from this. So for social responsibility, yeah, the mean value is greater than 4. Okay, and then but I can say that there is a students that answering that will not continue to serve the community after this program. However, I didn't collect any open-ended questions, so I didn't know what is the reason why these students don't want to continue. Okay, so maybe after this, I need to consider open-ended question as well, so that we can understand what is actually happened during that program. So benefits to the community, I can say it's a positive impact on that. Okay, so all constructs score higher than 4, which implies that students agree that program helped them grow personally, made them aware of their social responsibility, and benefited the community. So it's a positive impact from the program. Okay, so this one is the last program in 2023. Okay, it was in Malang, Indonesia. This is a very simple project. Okay, introduce kitchen garden to the community. I can say this is my new collaborator. The students live together with the community. Okay, and beside introducing the kitchen garden to the local community, we actually share how to use Tinkercad to the science education students, because this one we are considering the STEM education. Okay, so this is our students from electrical engineering student. Okay, she lead the program to teach the science education students to use the Tinkercad, to use the equipment, to use the sensors, so that they can improve in STEM education, because we consider that the output of the STEM will become the input or feeder to the engineering program. Okay, and we learned a lot during this program. I think I miss design. I think I miss a step in design. I take it for granted where I told the students that, okay, now we are going to do the kitchen garden, where both of us, okay, my partner, me, we think that, okay, kitchen garden is a very simple project. Okay, it's a very simple project. But during the day, when we want to complete this project, there is here and there hiccup, where the students, we're quite surprised, students cannot recognize the creepers, okay, and how they need to develop things, okay, for that creepers. So as an educator, we learn our mistake. Even it's a small project, we need to scaffold our students, because when it across discipline, because we didn't bring any agriculture students during this program. It involved engineering students, surveyor, and teachers. So these are the backgrounds of the students. Okay, so there is no agriculture students. Okay, so they feel difficult to make this kitchen garden. Okay, so this is my mistake, and then I just share to hear that even though it's a small or simple project, that is our perspective, not our students' perspective. When we talk about the SDG, when we talk about the communication between the students with the other discipline, with the community, when we combine all together, it's a complex. Those are the complexity during the project design. That's why never take for granted, even though it's a small project, we need to scaffold our students for them to give a better output. I think that's all from me. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Dr. Nuzal. Okay, so we open for question and answer from the participant. Okay, so Doktor, yang apa for that class, may I know what is the course? The name of the course?
Okay, the name of the course ada class control 1. Okay,
Year
and
berapa? Year berapa?
class control year 3.
Year 3, but can see that the number of student is only less than 20 kan? Tak banyak.
Oh, yang mana? Yang kelas mana? Yang kelas tu yang
For
saya
the
publish. Yang mana?
the
Which project?
the project itu kan, the number of participants tu macam sikit je.
Okay. Yang projek yang I share here ni adalah projek yang extra curriculum. Bukan yang per course. Sebab yang I just to highlight yang kalau per course kita tak dapat buat beyond macam ni. Kalau kelas ni dia banyak kepada kognitif. Sebab the way we assess lebih kepada kognitif. Okay, but apa yang saya share hari ni, saya nak just nak mention that when we talk about sustainability in education, we are not talking about cognitive. Kita kena ada kompetensi.
So maksudnya kan kalau kita tengok all the project is within before the 2019, masa 2019 and 2023. So
Yep.
in between tu tak ada project ke?
Dia
Okay.
online. So tak ada
Online.
gambar saya nak share sangat. Sebab dia COVID kan.
Yes.
So terus terang saya cakap saya tak bukan tak gemar. Output dia tu kita nampak tak sebagus apabila kita bring them and mix them together. Dia kita buat juga, kita ada buat dengan Unsri juga online. So student kita di sini, di lab kat sini, student kat sana kan. Tapi sebab saya dah biasa yang buat kita bawa, so bila kita nampak reflection students tu, dia tidak menjiwai. InsyaAllah tahun ni kita ada dan ini akan jadi first project dekat Malaysia. Kau perasan kan saya banyak projek semua kat luar kan?
Kan, itulah. Kena pergi luar ke nak buat projek ke community semua-semua tu.
Ini yang first lah sebab tahun ni kita first. InsyaAllah saya akan invite Japan dengan Indonesia dan kami dah di first phase dah communicate dengan community, tinggal nak buat engagement, nak tengok apa project that we can bring to the community.
Okay. So this one is a part of the cost tu lah, bukan yang for example macam community project ke, bukan cost yang for example kalau mengajar control system something like that. So you embed this type of activities inside the course ke?
Okay, dia macam ni Doktor. Kalau macam yang control system, macam kelas saya sendiri pun, saya mengajar macam data communication ataupun network programming, saya memang ada project base untuk particular class. Tapi saya tak boleh buat impact besar macam gini sebab kita punya markah tu sikit, 10% sahaja. 10 ke 20% kan. Jadi impact tu kita tak nampak besar. Dan the way we assess untuk tu pun masih lagi kepada kognitif.
Yes.
Sebab bila when we talk about project, kita kena pergi kita kena pergi kepada alternative assessment. Contoh, dia kena hantar portfolio ke, macam capstone ke. Kalau capstone yang macam ini lebih kurang lah. Kalau saya buat capstone pun lebih kurang. Cuma dia sangat local kita ni kecil sahaja. Macam itu.
Okay. And also kan kalau macam in the beginning tadi kita cakap banyak pasal sustainability, okay, and also dia punya key competencies. So do we need to include all the key competencies in our subject or can select one or two only?
Can select. Dan itu saya bagi guideline. Maksudnya bila kita nak design, kan kita ada learning outcome kan. Bila kita nak design sesuatu, kita ada learning outcome kan. So learning outcome tu boleh divide kepada 3 jenis. Okay, which is learning outcome yang untuk behavior, untuk social dan juga untuk kognitif. Yang mana yang kita nak. Macam yang tadi tu sebenarnya yang itu lebih kepada behavior tu. Learning outcome yang saya bagi tu adalah learning outcome behavior, bukan learning outcome kognitif. Kalau perasan jap kita ikut balik kepada ni.
Adakah yang CAC tu dia diimplement from 2019 until sekarang ke? Any improvement from the CAC tu ke?
Mana apa?
Yang CAC tu, sustainability CAC.
Okay, yang sustainability cake tu
Wedding cake, yes.
Wedding, okay. Dia sebenarnya macam mana konsep dia, saya bagi contoh. Dulu saya pakai yang sustainability pillar. Sebab yang pillar tu kan kita ada society, kita ada economic, kita ada environment, betul kan? So kalau kita pergi society, kalau kita touch society, dia tak ada overlapping pun tak ada masalah. Sebab yang itu sebenarnya bila itu adalah konsep yang kita pegang, dia membantu untuk kita design projek tu. Maksudnya kita punya falsafah dalam kita design. Kita design benda tu kan. Okay, jadi Kalau yang itu, kebanyakannya untuk sustainability pillar tu, kalau nak guna konsep tu boleh dalam kelas sebab dia very small. Kita boleh touch satu-satu ataupun overlapping dua-dua ataupun overlapping tiga-tiga. Faham tak?
Hmm.
Tapi kalau kita pakai konsep SDG wedding cake, dia berada semua. Kita tak boleh tinggal. Maksudnya yang first layer of the cake tu, yang environmental tu, dia akan support kepada yang kedua tu. Contoh, untuk orang tu sihat, environment dia ni perlu dijaga dulu. Jadi contoh kita buat projek yang kita involvekan dua connection ni. Jadi kita tak boleh tinggal. So kat situ sebenarnya dia akan tengok kepada outcome kita ni macam mana kita nak design dan macam mana kita nak assess. Jadi dua-dua tu boleh pakai. Dia tak ada salah pakai yang ini ke, tak ada salah pakai yang ini, tak. Macam mana kita nak design, kita bawa kepada konteks kita. Kalau kita masukkan di dalam course, kita tak boleh besar. Memang kita tak boleh besar. Melainkan course tu macam project based, FYP, capstone, tapi kena tengok balik the way we assess. Adakah assessment kita tu besarnya pada kognitif? Sebab kalau kita besar pada kognitif, sebenarnya kita tak develop the whole person tu. Sedangkan untuk ESD ni kalau kita tengok, dia punya tu adalah untuk develop the whole person. Yang dia perlu balance antara affective, antara kognitif dia dan juga dia punya value.
Okay. So, ada soalan ke daripada peserta? Can you have any question from the participants? Cuma the SDG tu lah doktor, dia macam the example is not from the control system punya course lah. The example is more to a community punya subjek yang macam COQ
Okey.
kan?
Kalau yang tu ada paper doktor.
Paper.
Ada paper, boleh cari paper kejap saya balik ke page yang itu, nanti boleh search the paper kejap saya bagi title paper tu. Yang itu memang paper, yang itu boleh tengok macam mana nak align kepada project design dia apa semua. Kejap saya share balik. Okay, yang itu saya tak touch sangat kejap, yang mana saya nak share ni. Nampak ke?
Belum lagi.
Belum lagi. Kejap Okay, ni nampak.
Boleh.
Okay, ni paper dia ni, satu dekat sini. Implementation of project-based learning in system modeling and analysis course. Satu lagi, crafting a real-world problem project-based learning based on gantry crane system. Yang ini jelas macam mana kita design dia per week apa semua tu.
Terus saya kena panggil doktor lagi lah untuk terangkan semula.
sebab banyaknya kalau yang sebelum ni bila orang tanya SDG ni banyak yang berminat ke arah yang community service tu. Tu saya tekankan yang itu sebab yang itu impact dia lebih besar sebenarnya. Tapi kalau nak pergi course, dia kena course sebab yang ini kita design yang ikut yang prinsipal tadi, dia kena ada problem identification dia, macam mana nak create, inilah yang ni crafting real world problem. Macam mana nak craft the problem. So bila dah craft the problem, macam mana kita nak tengok student analyse the problem. Lepas tu setiap minggu, dia ada berapa minggu yang kita kena tengok lah. Cuma yang saya boleh kata, in term of performance, examination performance, kita tak akan nampak sangat ketara di antara pelajar yang kita implementkan dengan projek ni ataupun yang kita bagi teaching exercise based biasa. Okay. Tapi in term of competency, dia akan ada perbezaan.
So untuk kelas yang control system tu doktor, yang project based learning tu, that paper, how many student per class?
Saya dah tak ingat lah, saya kena check waktu
Banyak
dia.
tak?
Banyak sebab rasanya dalam 25, 3, saya tak ingat itu satu section ataupun 2 section.
Tahun year berapa normally?
Saya
3.
tahun 3.
3. Lebih kurangkan selalunya first year students banyak kot kalau engineering punya. Kalau saya sama juga electrical and electronic engineering. Cuma the problem is how we can manage the big number of students tu dalam satu-satu kelas. So kalau kelas dia kecil, it's okay to do all the activities kan.
Ya.
Mungkin doktor ada pandangan ke how we can manage a big number of students in one class per session. Cuma ada, for example, only 2 hours or maybe 4 hours lah per week, tapi per session is only 2 hours.
Okay. In our practice, maximum satu section 30. Kalau di sana macam mana?
First year students normally is 100 something.
Seorang lecturer ngajar 100?
Dia dibahagi kepada beberapa lecturer lah. Tapi normally in one Dewan seminar tu, kita akan put up around 100. Contoh, kalau dia kongsi subjek pun, basically they will divide it into numbers of topics. So this lecturer will teach this topic and other lecturer will other topics. But normally untuk, for example, when we teach about circuit theory lah contoh. So they put 100 plus students in one session, banyak lah. So macam mana kita nak handle big number of class tu? Kalau maths kita tahu mereka akan bagikan kepada tutorial kan, dia akan divide lagi into small classes because they need to do the tutorial and everything. But how about the core courses macam circuit theory, macam measurement semua, something like that?
Okay. To be honest, saya tak pernah ada experience untuk handle 100 pelajar. Terus macam gitu. Okay. Cuma kalau nak buat projek, you still can do. Cuma dia tak boleh seorang lecturer sahaja. Itu je saya nak cakap. Sebab apa? The best person in a group dalam trigger ke-5. Ini mengikut research. By research, the best person in the group is between 3 to 5. Okay, sebab kalau kurang sangat, nanti yang kalau tengok yang ZPD tadi kan, zone proximal tu kan, kita tak nak dia demotivated. Sama ada terlalu rasa senang ataupun terlalu rasa susah. Kalau terlalu ramai, nanti dia rasa senang, ada yang akan lelap kat dalam tu. Okay, so you can divide it into group. Memang still boleh buat project based. Cuma the engagement during the class tu sangat-sangat penting. Dan kalau terlalu ramai, saya suggestkan pakai teknologi untuk make sure that you capture the students. For example, macam ni kan saya pakai class point. Kan? Okay, dekat class point ni kita boleh tengok siapa yang tak jawab. Okay, and then maybe I can give example kat dalam my class so that we can keep monitor our students. Macam ini kot. Saya nampak tak? Macam ni kan saya boleh monitor my students. Sekejap kita tengok. Saya tak boleh nak view kan. Dari situ kalau saya pakai yang ini, saya boleh tengok the achievement of the students. Sama ada bila kan dalam kalau kita kata saya membayangkan yang 100 orang yang ramai ni, okay, kita pakai satu teknologi yang macam ni. Saya bagi contoh, saya pakai class point hari ni. Dari awal semester sehingga ke ujung semester, saya akan pakai kelas yang sama dan saya boleh nampak performance students. So bila student menjawab itu, saya bagi star. Dia betul, dia salah, saya start bagi star. Kalau dia ada salah ke apa, kita akan buat discussion at the end untuk dibetulkan balik dia punya conception ni. Macam tadi saya kata how people learn framework tu, students yang masuk kelas kita, dia ada preconception dia sendiri. Jadi yang itu kita akan identify dan kita kena betulkan sebelum dia bawa ke dalam konten yang seterusnya. Jadi penggunaan teknologi ni akan membantu saya monitor pelajar. Biasanya kalau dalam seminggu, 2 minggu saya tengok dia tak reply, saya akan personally message dia lah macam gitu. Cuma sebelum ni saya memang the maximum satu kelas saya pun 60. Macam tu, but I still can manage untuk inilah. Dan saya pada ni saya pakai Discord, saya tak pakai Telegram ataupun WhatsApp. Saya guna Discord. Students guna Discord for games lah sebenarnya. It's a gaming platform. Okay, but saya transferkan dia. Jadi kat situ pun saya boleh tengok siapa yang hadir, siapa yang tak hadir secara real time. Itu je lah kot yang saya ni. Sebab kalau nak kata 100 tu saya memang tak ada pengalaman
Student
lah.
first year dekat UTM tak ramai ke?
Kita still bahagikan perception, per section. Walaupun kita ada intake dia beratus, tapi satu section maksimum memang dalam 50 orang sahaja. Macam kalau saya mengajar tahun 3 pun, kalau saya pegang 2 section, maksimum 50 sebab kita consider satu section dalam 25.
Okay. So ada soalan daripada participants. So adakah reflection dibuat setiap minggu, sekali atau bila-bila masa yang sesuai ataupun macam mana? Or at the end of the project?
Okay. Kalau pakai yang GIPS tu, saya panggil dia journal reflection. Maksudnya dari awal lagi, saya minta dia buat macam diary dia. Jadi setiap hari, dia bukan setiap hari. Dia bergantung bila dia start buat tu, dia akan menulis. Kadang setiap minggu, macam tu. Ni sekiranya menggunakan journal. Saya kata, okay, this is your reflective journal. So whatever yang you guna, yang bila you buat something related to your project, you luahkan dekat dalam journal ni. Macam tu. So ujung nanti saya collect. Kita bagilah question yang tadi tu. Okay, ini berbeza Yang reflektif ni dia berbeza dengan yang feedback. Yang kalau kita buat projek dalam kelas. Yang tadi tu yang service learning yang saya tu, dia boleh dua kan. Satu lagi yang kita boleh buat apabila kita buat projek dalam kelas, kata minggu ketiga kita dah bagi projek. Betul. Lepas tu kita akan ada milestone dia 3 minggu, another 3 minggu. So dia punya progress tu kita akan tanya dia dekat dalam kelas. Contoh, kita akan ambil, kalau kelas 2 jam tu, kadang-kadang saya akan ambil 15 minit ke 20 minit untuk tengok progress dan bagi feedback. Yang itu biasanya saya akan buat dalam 3 ke 4 minggu sekali. Supaya dia keep track on the project. Kita tak nak dia lost. Dia bukan kita bagi awal semester and then collect at the end of the semester. No. Kita kena tengok, itu kita panggil scaffold. Kita kena scaffold dia. Sebab kadang-kadang bila kita bagi satu-satu projek ni, student bila dia fikir benda tu complicated, dia buat benda yang sangat susah, dia rasa susah, padahal kita tak naklah sesusah itu. Sometimes bila kita bagi projek, students ni yang saya identify lah, sama ada saya buat service learning ataupun saya buat di dalam kelas, masalah student adalah dia nak linkkan apa yang dia belajar ke dalam projek tu. Itu adalah benda yang paling susah untuk pelajar. Saya pun tak tahulah kenapa, tapi boleh katakan setiap kali tu, yang pertama masa dia nak identify problem tu, itu adalah sangat kritikal untuk kita bantu.
Satu je lah kan doktor? Satu projek je per course.
Betul. Macam saya bagi open, contoh kan saya kelas network, macam yang sistem modeling ni saya bantu kawan. Maksudnya kawan, bukan saya tak mengajar modeling, saya bukan orang mekatronik. Maksudnya di department lain tapi saya bantu dalam penulisan. Okay, untuk saya sendiri, saya buat untuk kelas datacom ataupun network programming, saya bagi satu projek, dia open. Tapi dalam tu saya bagi karakteristik. Contoh, saya nak sekurang-kurangnya kena ada berapa klien, berapa server, berapa switch. So minimum saya bagi. Jadi dekat situ sebenarnya nanti student dia akan nak identify senario yang ada di universiti. Kalau saya kata benda, sebab saya bagi contohnya, dia adalah network engineer dekat company sekian-sekian-sekian. Okay, dia kena develop, ada new department nak dibuka. Jadi minimum yang perlu ada sekian-sekian-sekian. Okay, so student nanti dia kena identify, dia kena develop dia punya senario apa semua. Jadi dekat situ kita akan nampak variasi dalam penyelesaian. Kalau dia tak akan mungkin sama. Kalau dia sama, saya kata itu memang meniru lah. Sebab benda tu kan sangat open dan bergantung. You sebagai network engineer macam mana you nak design. Sebab design, satu lagi when we talk about design, kalau pelajar engineering, kita kena ajar design sebab secara dasarnya dia orang memang tak ada knowledge on design.
So that one project is individual or by group?
Projek biasa saya bagi by group.
By group. So if by group mesti ada dia punya peer assessment kan?
Betul.
So kalau macam mana kita nak validate that peer assessment they answer apa correctly? Selalunya dia akan bagi markah tinggi
Marks lah.
kepada kawan-kawan dia normally.
Okay. Betul. Saya setuju. Saya pernah dapat dulu pun saya buat sebab saya collect dia sekali. Peer assessment tu saya buat collection dia sekali sahaja. So saya nampak pelajar akan letak markah sama tinggilah masing-masing konon bantu kawan kan. Okey. Lepas tu bila saya dah belajar tentang yalah pedagogi semua ni disarankan sekurang-kurangnya 2 ke 3 kali dalam satu semester. Okey. Dan dalam peer assessment tu biasanya dia akan dibantu oleh minute of meeting. Dia pelajar kena hantar minute of meeting. Okey, so dekat minute of meeting tu ni from my experience penilaian yang pertama selalunya markah tinggi lagi. Okey, penilaian yang pertama selalunya markah tinggi lagi. Kawan ni bantu kawan ni, kawan ni bantu kawan ni kan. Okey, so kan saya kata nanti kat dalam kelas saya akan spend masa kan untuk tengok dia punya progress dia kan. Okey, so biasanya bila dah second time saya monitor the project tu, saya minta dia punya minit kan pelajar memang kena hantar. Saya tengok, okey, ini pelajar ni tak hadir, kenapa you boleh bagi markah dia tinggi kat sini? Lepas tu selalu cakap dengan student, you bagi markah free pada students tapi you tak bagi peluang kepada rakan you untuk belajar sebab you seolah-olah menipu diri you dan juga you membantu kawan you menipu diri dia sendiri. Selalunya dia macam psikologi sikit lah. So nanti kita akan nampak, saya akan ambil average lah. Baru kita akan nampak ada difference kat situ.
Okay. So rasanya tu je lah kan doktor, tak ada soalan lagi daripada peserta. So saya akan conclude lah the session today. Okay.
Okay.
So thank you very much Dr. Nozal and Dr. Normazina, our Deputy Director dari KAM. Dia send her regards lah sebab dia ada workshop to attend. Okay, yang sebelum ni tadi. Okay, so thank you all to all the participants and also to our honorable speakers. Okay, so today we also learn on the SDG, which is the SDG wedding cakes. Okay, yang terbaru kita belajar, and also the Gibbs reflective cycle, and also the importance of the sustainability in education. Okay, so we need to change reforming the curriculum and also change how we teach. Okay, basically different types of key competencies have been spoken by our speaker. We have different types of competencies, and also we can also implement project-based learning and also service learning in our curriculum to make sure that our students participate actively in all the courses and activities that we conducted. Okay, so thank you very much. Again, okay, so with that, I will end the session. Thank you and Assalamualaikum. Thank you, Doktor.
Waalaikumsalam. Okay, terima kasih. Selamat berpuasa.
Okay, selamat berpuasa juga. Okay. Thank you to all participants. Kita ada masalah dalam QR code. Saya rasa dia macam ada lain tak. You can give me your staff number and I will key in manually. Saya cuba. Macam tak boleh je.